Welcome, everyone, to this explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to get straight to the core of complex topics, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're diving into and decoding the beautiful game of football. But we're not just talking about the scoreline here. We're going to break down this incredible global phenomenon from its physical painted lines on the grass right down to its profound life lessons and the very specific ways we teach it to the next generation. It's going to be a fascinating journey, so get comfortable and let's jump right in. Okay, really quickly, here is our roadmap for today. We're hitting 4 main areas: the anatomy of the pitch, the match officials, the core values of football, and finally, teaching the next generation.
All right, part 1, the anatomy of the pitch. To truly understand the game, we have to ground ourselves in the physical space where all the magic happens. You know, when we watch a match, it's so easy to just see this massive expanse of green grass. But look at the precise geometry here. Notice those distinct areas labeled A through M. Every single line, every arc on this pitch serves a highly specific regulatory purpose that literally dictates the flow, the strategy, and the boundaries of the game. The crucial takeaway here is that these definitely aren't just arbitrary boxes painted on for visual flair. Take the penalty area, right there at the top, 44 by 18 yards. That exact dimension actively shapes player behavior because any direct kick foul inside that specific area triggers a high-stakes penalty kick. And right below that, the goal area, 20 by 6 yards. That's a protected zone where the goalie absolutely cannot be interfered with. Even the center circle has a strict 10-yard radius just to control exactly how close opponents can get during a kickoff. Every single part of this field has a specific name and function in this nomenclature. Those touchlines running the entire length of the pitch, they can actually range anywhere from 50 to 80 yards depending on the level of play. And the half line isn't just a visual divider, it acts as strict criteria for the offside rules. The pitch itself is just a masterclass in spatial design, completely calibrated to balance attack and defense.
Moving right along to Section 2, the match officials. Now that we've got the physical space defined, we really need to understand the human element enforcing the rules on those lines.
While the main referee obviously has the final say, football is totally overseen by a team. Here we can clearly contrast 2 vital roles. On the left, we've got the assistant referee, what we used to call a linesman. They run the touch lines, checking if the whole ball is out of play, and advising on those incredibly crucial offside decisions. Then on the right, you have the 4th official. Officially established back in 1991, they are basically the operational anchor on the sidelines. They maintain order in the technical areas, manage substitutions with those electronic boards, and handle all the administrative tasks.
But, as the stakes of the game have gotten astronomically high, technology and additional oversight have totally evolved the officiating crew. Now we see the additional assistant referee stationed right behind the goal line, specifically looking for penalty area incidents and so-called ghost goals. We also have the highly discussed video assistant referee, VAR, reviewing game footage from a booth and talking to the on-field ref via headset. And finally, there's a 5th official on standby just in case a primary official gets injured. Basically, the modern game leaves absolutely nothing to chance. All right, Section 3, core values of football. We're pivoting away from the literal enforcers of the rules to look at the profound reasons why this game actually shapes human character. I absolutely love this philosophy from the SIA Academy. Listen to this. Discipline is not imposed, it is cultivated. It just beautifully anchors the idea that football is fundamentally a school of life. Think about it. Turning raw athletic talent into pure excellence takes immense self-control. At academies like SIA, players learn that they have to train intensely even on the days when their motivation is completely zero. It's all about consistency, not just inspiration. It really all comes down to these 2 massive pillars: discipline and respect. A player's ultimate success isn't just about bagging a massive contract with a pro club. It's about stepping out into the world as a disciplined person. Respect is taught as the absolute foundation of fair play. That means accepting referee decisions without throwing a fit, knowing how to lose with dignity, and truly valuing the diverse backgrounds of your teammates. It builds empathy. You could be an absolute genius with the ball, but if you can't handle pressure or respect others, your success is going to be severely limited. Which perfectly sets up Section 4, teaching the next generation. How exactly do we impart these strict field rules and deep core values to young primary school students? Well, the Australian Sports Commission uses this brilliant framework called the Game Sense approach. It's a philosophy that completely flips traditional coaching on its head by minimizing long, boring lectures and maximizing active problem solving. Instead of just running static drills, students learn tactical and movement skills organically through modified gameplay. So instead of rigidly yelling instructions from the sidelines, a modern coach runs through this specific loop. They start with a match simulation, and then, and this is the genius part, they pause to ask a question. They'll ask the kids, when should you move to receive a pass? This forces the students to actively solve the problem themselves. Then they do some targeted play practice to build the skill, dive back into gameplay to test it out, and finally conclude with reflection. It totally empowers the students to discover the mechanics of the game on their own. But what happens when an activity just isn't clicking for the students? Maybe they're frustrated or just not having fun. That is exactly where the Change It framework comes in. It's essentially a toolkit for coaches to adapt game elements on the fly to maximize inclusion and keep everyone participating. Because let's face it, if they aren't having fun, the learning stops. It's all about adaptability. Each letter in the Change It acronym stands for a lever the coach can pull. For instance, if a student is struggling to catch or kick, you change the equipment. Maybe use a softer or larger ball. You can alter the area by making the field smaller. You can tweak the numbers by playing uneven team sizes to balance skill levels. You can even change the game rules, like adding a strict no tackling rule. That specific tweak is amazing for keeping those core values of respect intact, making sure everyone gets to play safely without fear of aggressive contact. By using these engaging, modified setups, students safely pick up the absolute fundamental physical skills. Take a game like Dribblers and Robbers, for instance. The kids practice running with the ball using short little kicks, keeping it close to avoid the robbers who are trying to tag it away. They learn the first touch, getting in the line of flight and absorbing the ball's force. And they learn how to properly strike the ball using the inside of their foot, with their eyes locked on the target. They learn all of this through play, not through lecturing. So let's wrap this explainer up with a question for you. Whether you're a diehard fan, a parent of a young athlete, or maybe a budding coach, consider how this macro view changes your perspective. You now know the precise geometry of the pitch, the structured hierarchy of the officials, the deeply ingrained values of respect, and this incredible game sense approach used to teach it all. How will all of this entirely reshape your understanding the next time you step onto the grass or turn on the television to watch a match? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me, and keep learning.